Greetings, YouTube. Happy Friday. We have a new in-game inbox, actually, two. We've got Canadians Clash, Skates a Flash, where we discuss how, the event is essentially ending. And keep in mind, eat like a Canadian power-up special maple syrup. So you got the maple syrups and the revives. Be aware that these Canadian goods have an expiration date will be converted to regular health potions and revives on August 5th. So if you don't have to worry about the overflow in that, then I guess don't worry about it. But if you do, like me, have some that are already in the overflow, you might want to make sure, if possible, to use them when possible. All right, so Alpha Flight Crystal Bundles. Let's grade these things. Okay, so you've got remember how we used to have like the weekly Grandmaster sales? Those things tank like Enron stock. So it's a Grandmaster Alpha Flight bundle. Now, this thing is rare just because it is a combination of 5-star Wolverine, Guardian, and Sasquatch, which are three of the most sought after in the game. And you want to talk about, if you thought 6,000 units for a 6-star Nexus was a gamble yesterday, hold my maple syrup. Because we have still some decent hype. Part of me is still disappointed and always will be that the 5-star Wolverine Crystal wasn't released like a year ago, because the hype for 5-star Wolverine would have been just through the roof. But as people are now in a pretty comfortable position to take their 6 stars to rank 3, I just think 5 stars for those top tier in-game players, while fun, maybe for incursions especially, if you have a choice to take a 5-star Wolverine into a fight versus a 6-star rank 3 Ghost or Corvus or Sunspot or Doctor Doom, etc. I just think it's kind of a joke of a debate at this point. And then, of course, that 6-star will eventually, maybe even if it's 2030, become rank 4 or rank 5, making that 5-star rank 565 5-star, I should say, even less of a conversation starter for so many of those players. Even though we've seen that 565, 200 5-stars can complete crazy content like the Abyss. So they're always going to have some value, but not as much value as they used to. Anyhow, less than a 1% shot to get the 5-star Wolverine. Compare that to a Guardian who also, isn't that fascinating? Guardian 0.42% chance and Wolverine 0.9. So that's more than twice the percent chance. Now, it's still less than 1%, so it's kind of minuscule and a little misleading. But I'm always fascinated that the percentages aren't the same, right? Wouldn't you think if it's the featured Grandmaster Crystal that it would be the same drop rates? So 0.4 for Sasquatch, 0.42 for Guardian, and 0.9 for Wolverine. I am intrigued and fascinated by that. So it's sort of like getting 50 units off of what you'd spend for the Grandmaster. But the issue is, if you're somebody like me who's Cavalier, if you're going to go for Guardian or Sasquatch, you're going to spend the same amount of units to get the 6-star chance for Guardian or Sasquatch. Now, Wolverine's different because he doesn't have a featured Cav. They don't want to introduce a 6-star Wolverine all of a sudden after they've just introduced a 5-star for the first time in 5 years. So that's kind of the thought process. But because of that, you really can't value those two crystals at 300 units apiece, because it's incredibly deceiving to think that that's worth the same price as a featured Cav if you have access to both. Now, if you're uncollected, I guess that's a moot point. But I'm telling you, YouTube, if you are uncollected and you're listening to this right now and you have any shot with units to become Cavalier, to hopefully still get that Cavalier level of compensation, which is amazing, plus the uncollected you already got, it's way better to spend 850 units on potions and revives, especially if you still got some of those lying around from this monthly side quest event as well, than to throw them at crystals where you're just going to get 3 stars and maybe a 4-star realistically. I would have preferred to see a discount of 5-star Wolverine for all players in this. And instead of having to spend, you're spending 300, you should be spending 300 units for the Wolverine crystal comeback, or maybe even a discount. What if you had Wolverine crystals for 250 units for Grandmaster? That might get some people's eyes open. But because you can buy the 6-star version of this, I just can't give this deal higher than a D- grade. And even the D- is generous and really just for uncollected players. But if you're Cavalier, it's an F. It's a non-starter for a conversation that I was really hoping to have after waiting for 5 years. So I wish you could just get Wolverine crystals on a little bit of a discount. I think that would be as much of a hype for people. But if you're uncollected and you really want those featured Cavs, especially with that compensation, we have had multiple people in the past 24 hours send me screenshots confirming that they got multiple levels of compensation. In fact, I want to take this opportunity to shout out late last night as I was going through my emails. HTC Web Trading Consulting sent a $25 PayPal holla thanking me for telling him to wait to become Cavalier until the compensation happened, because he got double compensation package. I never expect anything but hopefully some form of a thank you. A lot of times I don't even get that. But in this case, a PayPal donation is incredibly generous, and I wanted to make sure to shout you out as I end this video. Yay, I guess, Grandmaster Alpha Fight. I don't know. I am now compiling the first 145-ish screenshots that were sent to me for the Nexus crystals. I'll be posting those within maybe the hour or so. So be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, just not worth it. Save your units, especially if you're uncollected. Try to become Cavalier and get that free compensation package. That's actually way more of an incentive than even if you got 5-star Unawakened Wolverine.